Hello, everybody. It's Jesse here. This is my video on well, eventually I'm going to go into the St. John the Divine Cathedral, and I'm going to go into a little bit on the Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty might have some kind of significance to it. Um, a lot of people don't take into effect of how many replicas are out there in the world, and it could have quite an interesting significance to things. Um, But first, I wanted to elaborate on what I was going to talk about on my Blog Talk program, and I had an embarrassing moment. I'm like going through the motions, and come to find out that I was talking into nothing, and I don't know why. I think I might have fixed the problem though, so hopefully everything will be set for tomorrow. Um, but um, but I wanted to elaborate more on what I was talking in my last video um, about the World War III thing, in which I talked about the Red Horse, and and I wanted to briefly touch base on Matthew 24, and I wanted to briefly touch base on and I wanted to talk about the four horsemen here before I go into the um, discussion on St. John the Divine Cathedral. So let's get right down to it. I'm going to start off in Revelation 6:1. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard as it were the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, "Come and see." In Revelation 6:2 we read, "And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer." Verse 3, "And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, Come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon, to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword." Verse 5, "And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, Come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hands. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see that you hurt not the oil and the wine. And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, Come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death. And hell followed with him, and power was given unto them over the fourth of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. Okay, we're going to stop there. Alright. So, when we look at Revelation 6:1, we hear about the white horse. Okay? And now when you look at the characteristics of this thing, and we look at the characteristics of the white horse in Revelation 19, um, we we read something that's similar, but we must not confuse. I don't think we should confuse this white horse with the first horse of the apocalypse. Okay? Because Revelation 19:11 says, "And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he does judge and make war. Okay? Now, we have heard that the term white seems to be a representation of the person and dignity of Christ, and the mild and beneficent triumphs of his gospel over all the powers of paganism. Okay. We need to understand the concepts of these, of this. These four horses, along with the seven seals, are part of God's judgment. And we can see the fourfold judgment of God within these horses. So you can clearly see this is not talking about wrath. This is talking about God's judgment. That's what it's talking about here. In fact, I will submit to you this, that the seven seals that you read about in Revelations is God's judgment. The seven seals opens up the seven trumpets. The seven trumpets are also a continuation of God's judgment. It's not his wrath. Okay. Now what the enemy likes to do is he likes to counterfeit everything. We know there is a very deceptive version of Christianity out there, to the ones that are being purged and the ones that are coming out of this religious system, realizes this, but there are many that does not. Okay, there are many that does not. So to those that might be hearing about this, say, well, I already know about this, then, that's great. That's good. But this is for, more importantly, for those that do not know. And when we look at Matthew 24, I believe that we are going to see some very similar things between the first four seals, the four horsemen of the apocalypse, and the time of sorrows that we are in. Alright? Okay, so, and I'm going to tell you how this possible World War III that could be coming about, which I think might be talking about this red horse here in Revelation 6:4. That is when you're really going to see these horses intensify their rides. And I think it's going to be a simultaneous thing. Obviously, I don't think it's going to happen like 1 minute this is going to happen, the second minute this is going to happen. But it's going to be a relatively quick one after the other, after the other, after the other. But let's go to Matthew 24. Matthew 24. Okay, and I'll start in verse 1. And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another, that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the age, or the end of the world? You gotta look at this carefully. See, this is why words are so important. And this is why I believe the concordance is a very important tool. Because we can actually see the original meanings of Greek and Hebrew words. So we can kind of dig deeper into certain areas. Like this term world is actually in representation to of an age, of an era. The world itself is not going to be ending. The earth, is not going to be ending. But the age that I believe we are currently in is going to end. The age of sin, the age of, you know, all of that. Sin is going to be destroyed. And, it talks about being destroyed by fire and all that. But it's not talking about destroying, actually, physically, the earth shattering into billions of pieces or anything like that. I know some like to think that, but that is not what this is saying. Okay, moving on to verse 4. Matthew 24:4. And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceives you. Now here we go. Keep in mind the first horse here. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. Okay, let's stop right there for a second. Let's go back to Revelation 6. Okay, and go to verse 2. We look at what the term white could possibly mean here. And if this is true, we know that there is going to be some kind of a counterfeit that engulfs the whole world. And I believe that this counterfeit has been taking place for a while. And we'll get to that in a moment. But it says, white, this seems to be a representation of the person and dignity of Christ, and the mild and beneficent triumphs of his gospel over all the powers of paganism. Okay? And keep in mind, apostate Christianity, I'm going to say this right, front right out. This apostate Christianity is a counterfeit of the true, so therefore it is paganism. Flat out. Alright. And I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him. And he went forth conquering and to conquer. You look at this whole, like what happened in Lakeland, Florida, this whole revival stuff, this whole slain in the spirit, speaking in these babbling tongues, which has its roots in a Kundalini type aspect, making animal noises and stuff like that. This stuff is very popular among the charismatics, Protestants, a lot of your major denominations. And this is spread forth, and it all has its roots in paganism. So, all right. Well, let's go back to Matthew 24. All right, we'll go back to Matthew 24. We just read, and I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. Go to Matthew 24. And we'll read in Matthew 24:4. And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceives you, okay, deceive, to properly cause Rome safety, to go astray, deceive, seduce, wander, be out of the way. So that is what this deceive is going to come about, to seduce your mind, to cause you to err, to cause you to go astray. And most won't realize this. Keep this in mind. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. Now, we know that there are those out there that, that have publicly announced, I'm Jesus, and da 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 da, you know. And, that stuff is easy. I mean, come on. I mean, the enemy ain't gonna, I'm sure that, I'm sure Satan would probably think, well, if they can fall for this, this just ain't no work. But they know that some, which are the elect, are not going to be, or a lot of them are not going to believe the hogwash of somebody saying, I'm Jesus, because they can look plainly at the scriptures, and we're talking about the base, the surface of the verse that says, "Behold, when they say that he is in the desert, do not go," or he is in the marketplace, do not go, or he is in the chambers, do not go. You know, so obviously we can't take the the basic aspects of someone saying, "I am Jesus." It goes beyond that. Okay. Now, what does this mean? What does Matthew 24:5 mean actually? Well, okay. Let's look at the word Christ. All right. You look at the word Christ. It comes from the Greek meaning Christos, which means anointed. That is the Messiah, and epithet of Jesus. So it means anointed one, basically. Okay. So what you could actually read when you're saying this is, "For many shall come in the name of Jesus, saying, I am anointed, and shall deceive many." You think of all the aspects of, okay, well, let's just look at the big name guys here. Kenneth Copeland, Benny Hinn, John Hagee. I mean, the list goes on and on. Joel Osteen, Joyce Myers. All of these big names. They all come in the name of Jesus Christ. They are all on your TBN networks, and they are all on your God TV. And they claim to have an anointing. They say, I am anointed, I am anointed, I am anointed. And then they also, you know, have a greasy, sloppy message of a name it and claim it type gospel. And I'm sorry, that's just not the case. Okay, you can't just say a prayer, save me, and, you know, you're saved. Oh, therefore, you ain't got to worry about anything else. That is what those people are about. Not to mention they say you can attain godhood. You're a little gods. And people buy into this stuff. A lot of people buy into it. You know, um, but that's simply not the case. You know, I mean, you can say a sinner's prayer, but I'm sorry, but salvation doesn't. Your salvation does not end at the sinner's prayer. You have to work at it. I mean, the Bible says, "Work out your salvation with fear and trembling." It is not, you know, it is not just a simple say a prayer, Jesus, come into my life, forgive me for my sins, and that's it. It's much more than that, folks. I mean, come on. How many people go to a church and they say the quote unquote prayer to save them? All right, to save them, and yet they don't feel nothing. They don't. They walk away the same way they walked in. And that's true because that same person was like, "Yeah, I went to church. I accepted Jesus Christ in my heart." You know, and then they're going on doing the same things that they were doing beforehand, because you got these preachers and these pastors out there saying, "Well, you ain't got to worry about anything now because you're saved now. You're not you don't sin anymore." You know, so basically, in the saying that you don't sin anymore, which we all sin. I mean, if you say that you don't sin, then you're a liar. Okay? If you're saying that, then you're basically putting it into these people's heads that, oh, well, you know, You want to go to a bar or something like that, or you want to go to a party and, have an orgy or a threesome with women. Sorry to put it so blunt, but but there's no need for repentance or anything like that because you're already saved. Go on, you know. I mean, those are just major things, okay? But there's also the little things that count too. But that is what's going on out there in this whole entire world. And when you look at the white horse, all right? When you look at the white horse, you can see that. You can see this white horse conquering and to conquer based off of this first verse right here. Spoke a lot of volumes, didn't it? Verse 6, And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Okay, verse 6. Alright. Obviously, you're going to have wars and rumors of wars. Do we have that going on? Well, absolutely. You can just look at my last video, and that's a big rumor of war. Actually, the rumor of war with Iran has been kind of silent, and all of a sudden it just perked back up because apparently Iran made an assassination plot to commit a terrorism type act and to assassinate the Saudi whatever, you know, and so now the U.S. is, pumping their guns and flexing their biceps, saying, you know, this is uncalled for, la di da di da da. You know what? They want their war. That's what it's all about. Um, so you should hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. I strongly believe that this red horse could very well be increasing his ride very, very soon. Um, it talks about a great sword. Now, a sword a lot of times is symbolized, obviously, but it's the sword of the spirit, which is the word of God. But also in symbology in the Bible, sword also means war, and it talks about a great sword. So you're talking about a massive war, a great war. Um, I believe that the wars and rumors of wars falls into this, and I also believe that um, that the nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom falls into this. Okay. Now we don't see much mention about any comparisons for the economy here in Matthew 24. But if you look up if you look at the outturns of these two verses here, you can kind of put that into play. Um, we're gonna look at the red horse one more time. You know, red horse comes out to take peace from the earth. Okay. You shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. I would say that falls into that category. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation. Now, this is very interesting. I want to take you to the Greek root word for this word nation. Nation and kingdom are two different things. Alright? So we look at this word nation. Probably from a race as of the same habit. This is a tribe. specifically a foreign one, um, Gentile, heathen, nation, people. And the Greek word for this is ethnos. Okay, now what did I just say here? This is the meaning of it: a race, a tribe, specifically a foreign one, Gentile, heathen, nation, people. So now let's look at all the protests going on. There's a lot of protests out there. Could you possibly say that we have nation against nation, people against people? We got people within the borders of their own countries causing riots and protests against their governments. Their governments are in the same country. You know, think about it, folks. That's what that word means. It does not mean a country. It does not mean um, a specific country. It is a people. It is a race. You know, like for example, you ask somebody the nationality of a person. Oh, I'm French. I'm this. I'm that. You know, they're of that orient. They're of that race. That's what that means here. Kingdom against kingdom. Ah, properly royalty. That is rule, a realm, or figuratively a kingdom. Now that is your countries. That is that is your United States, your Germany, your Greece, um, Yemen, Iran. That is what that is right there. Okay, kingdom against kingdom. All right, so now you look at this red horse. We know that there's earthquakes in diverse places. I mean, that's obvious. They're only going to increase. You look at this red horse. It talks about a great sword. You got to use common sense and common logic in this. All right. The black horse has a pair of balances in his hands. And a black horse, talks about a measure of wheat for a penny and 3 measures of barley for a penny. So basically, what that means is a day's wages for a loaf of bread. All right. Can you imagine the economic disaster that could take place because of a world war, especially a third world war, especially if Iran goes to war with the U.S. and Israel or whatever? All right. You are going to see a domino effect like you have not seen it before. All right. You will have famines. Obviously, like I said, a day's wages for a loaf of bread, so people are not going to be able to afford to buy food. And the essence of that, you are going to have pestilences. Um, the pale horse goes into greater detail on that. Let's look at it real quick. Revelation 6:8, and I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him, and power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. A fourth of the population is quite a big number. There's going to be a body count, and I believe that we are going to be here for that. You look at the four attributes of the judgment of God, and it talks about, I think it's in Jeremiah, um, famine is included, beasts of the earth, um, the sword, which is war, and pestilence. That's basically the fourfold judgment, you know, and we can clearly see this in here. It is not the wrath. Okay, and the beasts of the earth. Well, that could mean physical beasts, animals, and stuff like that. But what, you know, let's take a look at transhumanism in this aspect. You know, demonic entities. Okay, let's go back to Matthew 24. So, basically, what I'm trying to say in short is if this world war takes place, you're going to see these horsemen really intensify their ride in a very fast pace, at a very fast rate. I'm not trying to say that say this to scare any of you guys. I'm just trying to say this just to see where we are in the scheme of things. Okay. Now let's we're gonna go into the St. John Divine Cathedral. Okay. And I am reading to you from the Vigilant Citizen. Excuse me. And this building speaks a lot of volumes. Um, I can't even tell. I mean, I probably can't even explain all the symbolism on here. You know, all I could do is pull up some articles about it and just share them with you. Um, but anyways, I'm gonna go through it the best I can. Um, it says one of the first articles published on this site was Sinister Site, St. John the Divine Cathedral, where I've described the building's occult symbolism and its role in the United Nations efforts to push a single world religion. We're going to go into that site too. We're going to go into that article. Probably the most shocking part of that article was the pictures of the columns conceived in 1997, depicting the destruction of New York City, including the Twin Towers. The church was named after St. John the Divine, the author of the Book of Revelation. The original article showed only 2 of these columns. The others were not visible at the time I took the pics. Since then, however, the other pillars are visible, and their symbolism is esoteric and mysterious as those originally posted. Here they are in no particular order. Um, Now we can see um, these are the pillars here, okay, from far off. And you're going to see a lot of the pictures and stuff like that on the bottom section of the pillars and the top sections. Alright. And I believe that these right here represent different gods and goddesses. I think that's what that is representing right there. You can see the crescent moons, upside down crescent moons. And we know that is symbolized by the moon god. Uh, Here is the top of one of the pillars. Obviously, we can see the statue right here. I believe this is kind of representing a wave or a tidal wave of some sort. Here we see the 2 towers, and you kind of see they're leaning and collapsing. You look at the buildings shaking all over the place. They're like all distorted and everything like that. You can kind of get the instance of a possible earthquake. As you go further down, and you'll see the 5-pointed star, the pentagram, which is the upright portion, which is the light, the white part, the light side of the black, basically. Um, Let's see, posting the original article on St. John's Divine. This pillar depicts an apocalyptic New York City being engulfed by enormous waves. Excuse me. Um, Here we have the Brooklyn Bridge. I believe that's what that is. You know, like a car falling down into the water, and New York Stock Exchange. People buying goods, selling their stocks. Um, Serpent. There's just a lot of stuff on here. Also posted in the original article, this column depicts the destruction of the Brooklyn Bridge. Underneath is the New York stock market and people trading goods. Is this a reference to the Babylon of the Revelation? Here we have the Four Horsemen. Obviously, this is Flames of Fire, I do believe. Uh, this one's kind of freaky. You know, I don't know too much into this. Um, this kind of looks like you got the lamb tied, um, and you got this. It looks like there's hands or whatever holding this, maybe symbolizing that Satan has a grasp over this whole system that is going to be taking place. So you got these hands here. You got this lamb tied up. You got this this figure being born. You got these mummies here, which I kind of think might mean like persecution, stuff like that. I really don't know too much to make of this one right here. Um, I don't believe that the beast is a single human being. I don't believe the false prophet is a single human being, but it is a system. It is an organization, and I think obviously you're going to have a leader. You're going to have an end time leader who is going to be a antichrist. You know, just like there are many antichrists in this world today. But obviously, he's going to be the head of this new world system, both religiously and politically. And I think this is what this is telling me, that eventually you're going to have this world leader arise, and he's going to seem to have solve all the world's problems at first and everything like that, and yada yada yada. A scene depicting a birth from some kind of flower. This is discussing this up here. Surrounding by mummies and above a lamb with its legs tied. Who is being born is the Antichrist, who is said by the book of Revelation to be the beast coming up out of the earth and had two horns like a lamb. Underneath it is a spiral vortex symbolizing change of consciousness. That's altered state of consciousness and everything like that. You look at your Manchurian candidates, you look at your transhumanism and everything. You look at the Kundalini worship, the Kabbalah, you know, the age of Aquarius. It all means a change of consciousness. Um, Interesting date to pay attention to if something interesting might happen. October 28th is the supposed beginning of the age of Aquarius. You know, so that might have a significance there. We have all these skulls and bones. That might actually represent maybe a secret society of some sort. I can't really make these out too well, but it looks like these right here. Um, Maybe might be depicting the all-seeing eye, Lucifer. We see all this death down here. So you got the all-seeing eye circling this whole pillar, surrounded in death. Pillar symbolizing death with the wheel within a wheel, full of eyes all around, from the vision in the beginning of the book of Ezekiel. I don't know. I honestly I don't really know too much about that wheel in the book of Ezekiel. Um, I'm gonna have to go into a study on that. But all right, here we have the Kabbalistic tree of life. Um, uh, we have I can't make out what that is. I know it's a certain type of god or goddess. Um, same as this. I can't really make that out too clearly. This one is obvious, all seeing eye, one-eyed. Um, that also kind of depicts the um, Antichrist, if you will. The man above the tree of life is also uncharacteristic for a cathedral. It is one-eyed, see the eye of Horus, and wears a huge clear quartz amulet, which is said to have magical and metaphysical properties. So that's about all I know I can cover on the pillars. We still got a lot more to go through though. Um, a man above the tree of life is also on character. Okay. Little to no documentation exists about the meaning of the pillars, and the rest of the cathedral contains a lot of art with strange symbolism alluding to catastrophe and a new era. Strange place. It is a very strange place indeed. I totally agree. Um, okay. Now, um, oh wow, I wish I could zoom in on this. Let's see. Okay, so we have this picture here. This is we're going to be going through a lot on this. See the crescent moons. Um, you have a line here, and I think there's a line here. Um, this looks like I can't tell what he's sitting behind, but it kind of looks like the compass and square, maybe, with his arms outstretched. It's too far away. I can't really make it out, but as we go on, we read. The destruction of New York City, including the Twin Towers, sculpted right on the building, strange occult symbols on the floor, weird rituals being performed in the sanctuary, home of the Temple of Understanding, which admittedly seeks to instate a New World religion. This cathedral is definitely different, as some people might say, but the difference lies in the fact that the cathedral is in fact a temple of neo-pagan, borderline satanic. The environment is more important than human life beliefs. I kind of like how he put that there. I personally couldn't care less about each individual's beliefs, but to trick unsuspecting churchgoers into an occult house of worship is nothing less than evil. Um, I don't think this guy in the back, his background is Christian. Um, I think he's more like patriotic than anything, but you know, anyways, we'll make it work. The pagan intellectuals reclothed their original ideas in a garment of Christian phraseology, but bestowed the keys of the symbolism only upon those duty initiated and bound to secrecy, mainly beheld the secrets teachings of all ages. Background and history of the cathedral. The unfinished building has been claimed as being the world's largest cathedral. It is realistic to maintain such high aspirations when your sources of funding include tycoons like J.P. Morgan and prominent figures like the Grand Master of the Masons of the state of New York. The completion of the cathedral was such a prized accomplishment for the Freemasons that it was featured on the front page of Masonic World of March 1925. Um, well, when you look at the pictures here, Jacob and Boaz pillars. Here we have, I believe, the two God and goddess cult. Um, um, the light and the black with Lucifer at its head. Obviously, you can see the light all seen high, basically. The article states, it is particularly fitting that the Masons, who were the principal builders of cathedrals and churches during the greatest cathedral building period, should now have a prominent part in the movement to build America's greatest cathedral. Little need be added to the story of Freemasonry during the cathedral building period. Its monuments are its best history, alike of its genius, its faith, and its symbols. The article openly admits that Masonic cathedrals represent the best legacy of the Brotherhood, and the symbolism is prominently showcased. The masses are, however, too ignorant to recognize the meanings behind the art, so they just stare at them thinking it's pretty nice. Okay, let's click on this right here. Okay. Um, kind of see the wheel with a little dot in it, kind of representing the male, female, uh, now, you know, male god, female goddess type thing. You know that's where the mother son cult comes from. You know, father, mother, son. Um, and you can clearly see the pyramid, all seeing eye on top. I can't really make these out, kind of too low. I can't really make these out too well, but all right. Freemasonry and the occult. As you might know, Masonry has been through the ages a keeper of the ancient mysteries, which are occult and esoteric teachings only communicated to the initiates. I will not explain here the mystery religion, as it takes several years of studies to get some understanding. I can, however, say that the cultists draw their teachings from the ancient Egyptian, Babylonian, Kabbalah, and Gnostic cultures who predate by many centuries the Christian era. Secret societies have been forced to hide the true nature of their philosophies in the veil of Christianity to avoid persecution by the Church. Freemasons and their fellow organisms, the Rosicrucian Order, and the Knights Templar have all been accused of devil worship and idolatry in Europe. Again, think of the White Horse. Think of um, Matthew 24, I think, verse 5 or 6. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. While many low-level Freemasons may be practicing Christians, those looking to reach higher degrees within the Brotherhood are required to study the tenets and the philosophies of the mystery religion. Freemasons do not necessarily seek for the world to embrace their brand of spirituality, as it is strictly reserved to the initiates. However, people in high places, who often happen to be Masons, are seeking to steer the population towards a dumbed-down version of their paganism, as he will read later. The symbols. The impressive exterior of the cathedral provokes a humbling sensation at whom gazes at it. But what are you humbling yourself to? Well, examine the details of the artwork. Okay, we already basically went into the pillars. So, um, this wasn't really talked about too much. Let's take a look at this. The scene above might be unsettling for New York residents. We see the Brooklyn Bridge crumbling with cars and buses falling into the agitated waters. At the right is the Statue of Liberty. You see it right there. Which seems to be sinking in the water. Beneath this horrifying prophecy is the New York Stock Exchange, with people trading goods around it. Um, there you go. That's the New York Stock Exchange. You look at the pillar above. There you go. People around it, trading goods. So what is the purpose of this weird carving? Well, the first thing that needs to be mentioned is the actual St. John the Divine is credited for writing the book of Revelation in the Bible, which describes in symbolic imagery the events of the apocalypse. Occultists believe that the book of Revelation has been hermetically coded to reveal its true meaning to the initiates of esoteric teachings. This scene carved on the west entrance of the cathedral depicts New York as being Babylon the Great, the city who gets completely destroyed by the wrath of God. The book of Revelation mentions, Fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great. She has become a home of demons and a haunt for every spirit, a haunt for every unclean and detestable bird. For all the nations have drunk of the maddening wine of her adulteries. The kings of the earth committed adultery with her, and the merchants of the earth grew rich from her excessive luxuries. The artist might be onto something because there is indeed numerous similarities between the actual New York City and the description of Babylon the Great in the Bible. The book of Revelation mentions a great prostitute who sits on many waters, peoples, multitudes, nations, and languages, holding a golden cup. She rules over the kings of the earth. Alright, now, you look at the Statue of Liberty, okay, um, and I'm not getting into the whole world religion thing right now. The Catholic Church has its huge hands tied around certain things, and that'll be another topic, okay? Again, I believe that, you know, we can't just look at the outer shell of what is being read, especially in Revelations, guys. Um, so, two merchants of the earth who grew rich of her excessive luxuries, weeping because nobody buys her goods anymore. Okay, New York Stock Exchange. The merchants who sold these things and gained their wealth from her will stand far off, terrified at her torment. They will weep and mourn and cry out, Woe, woe, O great city, dressed in fine linen, purple and scarlet, and glittering with gold, precious stones and pearls. In 1 hour such great wealth has been brought to ruin. Okay? I mean, it's a possibility. Okay? Um, a lot of people like to attribute this just to the Catholic Church, and that's it. Don't get me wrong. Alright? Understand this. The Catholic Church is a huge player in all of this. Okay? A very huge player. You know, they're they are just as much, if not more, involved in the mystery religion than the Freemasons are. Okay? So, try to understand where I'm coming from. I know I made a comment on somebody's channel, I won't give the name, but they misunderstood me and they blocked me. Which, you know what, that's fine. I really don't care. You know. But, oh well. I want to look at the Statue of Liberty real quick. This is pretty interesting. Now, a lot of people may or may not know that the Statue of Liberty is not just only a relic in the United States, but it's all over the world. Now, you read about this great prostitute who sits on many waters, peoples, multitudes, nations, and languages, holding a golden cup. She rules over the kings of the earth. This is why I can't say that by Babylon, Mystery Babylon, is just a Catholic Church. Okay? Mystery Babylon encompasses the whole globe. Alright? Whether you want to depict the Catholic Church being the one world religion or not, Mystery Babylon encompasses the whole world. The whole world will be deceived. Okay, so you look at the Statue of Liberty and you think that's just a United States symbol. Keep in mind, alright, let's go to it. Replicas of the Statue of Liberty. So the Wikipedia encyclopedia. Alright. Okay, one of the 200 Lady Liberty statues donated by the Boy Scouts of America is located on Michigan's Mackinac Island in historic Hadamon Bay. Right there. We're just getting started, guys. Okay. France, Paris. The first original statue stands in the Jardin du Luxembourg, an information panel on the pedestal pedestal claims that it is bronze model used by Bertoldi as part of the preparatory work for the New York statue. The artist offered it to the Luxembourg Museum in 1900, and it was placed in the park in 1906. The date written on the statue's tablet where the New York statue has July 4th MDCCLXXVI is 15 November 1889. November 15th, 1889. The date at which the larger Parisian replica was inaugurated. This is the one in Paris. Pont de Grenelle. This second Statue of Liberty in Paris is near the Grenelle Bridge in the Lieux Cygnus, a man-made island in the river Seine. 11.5 meters, 37 feet 9 inches high, inaugurated on July 4th, 1889. It looks southwest downriver along the Seine. Its tablet bears two dates. 4 July 1776, July 4th, 1776, the United States Declaration of Independence. Like the New York statue, and July 14th, 1789, the storming of the Bastille. This statue is shown in the movie National Treasure, Book of Secrets as one of the historic locations. So you can see it here. Another one in France. Musée d'Arts et Miters, the original plasters, the first project, finished in 1878 by Augusto Bertolli, that was used to make the famous statue in New York, is in the Musée des Arts et blah blah blah, Paris. This original plaster was bequeathed by the artist's widow in 1807 together with the part of the artist's estate. On the square outside the weird name entrance is a bronze made from this plaster, same size, number 1, from an original edition of 12, made by the museum and cast by Chaussee Fondeur, Paris. Okay, goes in the Flame of Liberty. A life-size copy of the torch Flame of Liberty can be seen above the entrance to the Ponte Ioma tunnel near the Champs Elysees in Paris. It was given to the city as a return gift in honor of the centennial celebration of the statue's dedication. You can see another replica in Bordeaux, France. There's a replica in the northwest of France. I mean, they're all over the place in France, guys. Barenton, Calmer, Poitiers, other French cities. Here's the one in Calmer. Other European countries, you'll find one in Austria. In Minimundus, a miniature park located at the Wallersee in Carinthia, Austria, is another replica. You can click on all these and they'll be right there. You know. Just go to one of them here real quick. Might not be that one. Hold on. Bear with me, guys. Okay. Go that. This is in Austria. They're gonna show me more pictures. Come on now. I'm sure you'll be able to type this in, but it's there. Another one in Germany. 35-meter copy is in the Germanic Heide Park Salto theme park, located on a lake with cruising Mississippi steamboats. It weighs 28 metric tons. Blah 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 blah. Kosovo. A replica stands atop the Hotel Victory in Pristina, Kosovo. Norway. A smaller replica is in the Norwegian village of Visnes. Replica of the statue. There we go. This is the one in Norway. Spain. Ukraine. There's one unique sitting Statue of Liberty right here. United Kingdom. Ireland. And this is the one in England. North America, you have Mexico, obviously the United States. They're all over the place in the United States. Um, South America, Argentina, Brazil, Ecuador, Peru, China. You can find one in China. Beijing, Israel. That's the one in Israel. Japan. There you go. Another one in Japan. Philippines, Taiwan, Vietnam. This is the one in the Philippines. Uh, Australia. The Statue of Liberty represents the female goddess, which has its roots dated all the way back to Semiramis, which is the mother, which is the mother goddess. This is where your mother-child cults come in. Okay, um, and they're all over the place. The Catholic Church just is not the only one that holds true to these doctrines. They're a big player of it because they're the ones that taken all these pagan practices and put a cloak of Christianity around it. But when you look at all, when you go into the depth of of the three deities, you will find out that this Statue of Liberty is none other than your Mary, your your Virgin Mary, and whatever. That dates all the way back to the first deities that was started in the Tower of Babel. That's the Statue of Liberty for you. Okay? Now, let's go back and read that. A great prostitute who sits on many waters, peoples, multitudes, nations, and languages, holding a golden cup, she rules over the kings of the earth. Very interesting, isn't it? Okay. Pagan sculpture. You can see the crescent moon. I'm not sure what the crab thing is. Um, I don't know what that is. I can't make it out too well. I'm sure it's not pleasant. Sight of the tired moon. Um, Here's another picture of it. This might actually be represented by Lucifer, for all I know. Pretty disgusting body. Okay, the sculpture which basically symbolizes the struggle between good and evil, features numerous elements we can find in paganism. Sun worship, mythical creatures, and sun versus moon duality. Called Fountain of Peace, the sculpture borrows a fantastic, bizarre, and distorted art style of the grotesque. All sorts of animal creatures are emerging from a smiling sun, which represents a basic paradigm of sun worship. The sun as giver of life. The idol points to the east in ancient pagan tradition. There is also weird stuff on the sculpture, like a DNA symbol. A DNA symbol also appears at the entrance of the cathedral. We all know how genetic modification is as Christian as it gets. We can also find a quote of John Lennon saying, "One day the world will live as one." Think this is spooky. Read on. Okay. Um, if you really want to go in the depth study on the symbolism and stuff like that, I highly recommend, and I have it on my playlist on my channel. Um, Type in and check out Know Your Enemy. It is a 78-part video series. You can actually buy the DVD set too. It's $30 if you can afford it. If not, just go on YouTube and watch the videos on there. If you can't find it, just click on my channel to all those that are subscribed to me, and it's on there. Okay, strange rituals. This is what goes on inside the cathedral. Every year at Halloween, St. John the Divine is the host of a strange event called the Grand Procession of the Ghouls. It is basically a parade taking place right inside the sanctuary of the cathedral, where people dressed in costumes of demons, ghouls, monsters, and other creepy things walk around to macabre organ music This thing resembles the strange rituals held behind closed doors by occult groups. Outside of the great number of costumes representing demons and Satan, already extremely bizarre for a cathedral, some costumes seem to make a mockery out of Christianity. Does this look like Jesus crucified to you? You can see that right there. Um, there might be some meanings behind that, X, and I think there is. I just can't picture it. Other pictures. A priest monster with an evil-looking crucifix floating behind him. And you got people with their hands up, celebrating, cheering. There's that spiral. Altered state of consciousness. The bishop standing in the pulpit while the ghouls parade. There's a fish miter. That's the fish god, Dagon. Don't satanic rituals make fun of Christian rituals by distorting them? Well, that is distorted as it can get. Processions are a pagan tradition like the procession of the Prechten in Germany, which is very similar to the one at St. John the Divine in many ways. This is the one in Germany. And you're not going to be able to hear the video, but you can clearly see what's going on here. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but the link will be posted below. But you're going to see a video of what actually goes on. Alright, here we go. If it'll play. Come on. Sorry guys, it's taking a long time to buffer. Real creepy pipe organ music playing in the background. Just trying to walk you through it. So the poor children are just totally entranced by it. They don't understand. And the parents are saying it's all good, it's okay. See them all laughing. frog. Is that a plague of frogs? Okay, so you can clearly see what goes on there. Um, this is the actual video. I mean, hold on a second. I'll post a link below, so if you wanted to watch this in its entirety. Okay, well, that's basically what it is. Okay. All right. Another bizarre ritual is the blessing of the animals. That takes place in September every year. This just happened. You have a bunch of animals inside and outside the sanctuary of the cathedral, worshiping God, quote unquote. Since when do animals read the Bible and such? They never did. An article published in 1996 by the California Forestry Association describes the scene. Goats, horses, and other animals are led to the altar to receive blessings. Camels and elephants walk the aisles as worshippers march to the altar with bowls of compost and worms. This is another pagan ritual taking place inside a church. Notice the white robes everybody is wearing. Guy put a hope this horse won't poop while getting his blessing. Again, keep an eye on the white robes. This cow is all worshipped out. Did you notice the white robes? Look at these pictures of other pagan rituals. Celebrating Lucia, female version of Lucifer. Pagan ritual in Greece. Notice the similarity. Yes, white robes. Anyway, this is a video captured during the actual Mass. There are uncanny resemblance with pagan rituals. Here's the video. This is the blessing of the animals, guys. Notice similarities of what they do in your Protestant churches and they do here? Same thing. Okay. Um, I'll send you the link to this one as well. So we bless horses, monkeys, and Aunt Sylvia's poodle dressed like a ballerina. What is there left to bless? Why not people's bicycles while we're at it? Oh no. Oh crap, should have said that. Yes, they do have a blessing of bicycles. And he doesn't even go into it because it's just plain stupid. And there you go. Blessing of the bicycles. The environment is her religion and we don't know it yet. Wow. There's some nice little symbolism there. Um, you got the circle within a circle and the Maltese cross. Paul Winter's winter solstice celebration. Can't worship the sun more than that. The famous New Age musician celebrates the winter solstice, one of the most ancient pagan rituals. He says on his website about the consort. In ancient times, observers watched the sun sink lower in the sky each day, and feared it would disappear completely and leave them in darkness. People practiced special rituals intended to entice the sun's return. Bonfires and candles with their imitative magic help fortify the waning sun and ward off the spirits of darkness. These symbols live on in our modern seasonal customs. The candles of Hanukkah and Christmas are kin to the fiery rites of old, which celebrate the miracle of the earth's renewal. So yes, he is pagan. He's proud of it, and he performs inside a cathedral. Here is a video of his rendering of Silent Night. Tell me who and what is being worshipped. There we go. Again, I will post a video link below. You can watch it in its entirety. Come on, pause, will ya? Okay. Again, I will post a link to this video below so you can watch it in its entirety. Um, this is the art and this is the roots that dives into Christmas. Um, I will go into a further detail on Christmas and where that all originated from. And again, Christmas is nothing more than a paganistic holiday that is cloaked in Christianity um, to celebrate the birth of Jesus on December 25th. Um, and we'll go into more detail on that in another video whenever I plan on making it. I don't know. Hey, you know what? just just to create an uprising. Maybe I might do it on Christmas Day. I don't know. I'm not trying to cause trouble, but um, actually, I think it's a perfect time to make videos as such around the holiday season. But just keep in mind that, guys. Keep in mind of what is the actual roots behind the holidays that we celebrate today. And you can clearly see this rendition of Silent Night is not giving homage to God. It is clearly a pagan ritual, and Paul Winter described it right here. So okay, Temple of Understanding. St. John the Divine is the headquarters of the Temple of Understanding, an interfaith effort to steer away people from traditional religions to a hybrid kind of spirituality, based on New Age philosophies, neo-paganism, and a mix of organized religions traditions. The friends who have assisted the founder, Juliet Hollister, include John D. Rockefeller II, um, the 15th Dalai Lama, Pope John the 23rd, Eleanor Roosevelt, UN Secretary General, UTANT, International Planned Parenthood, and the Jewish Theological Seminary. John Houston, a New Age guru and supporter of the Temple of Understanding, wrote in her book Trojan Horse, "The Temple's purpose is to facilitate the one world religion through the promoting both the acceptance and the embrace of all religions, beliefs, and rituals. The Temple of Understanding's meditation room was to be known as the Hall of Illumination, where the Illuminati, Masters of Wisdom, our leaders of the Temple of Understanding, will train the public in the new humanistic cult to create a new type of mystic." I mean, it's out in the open, guys. I mean, this is what they're saying. The temple has received full UN accreditation and has been a key actor in the spiritual department of the UN. 12 individuals listed as directors or advisors of the Temple of Understanding are also members of the UN's Global Forum Council. Those forums have received numerous speakers who've openly supported a neo-pagan world religion based on earth worship. James Lovelock, one of the speakers, mentioned that Gaia, an ancient term describing the earth as a goddess, was the giver of life and had the capacity to heal herself. He describes humans as being cancers to Gaia, an illness too overwhelming for her to heal herself. In other words, humans are parasites to the goddess Gaia. Al Gore has been a guest several times at the Cathedral of St. John the Divine, where he infamously said, "God is not separate from the earth." Well, in Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, God is in fact separate from the earth and the heavens. If you decipher Gore's phrase, God equals earth is God. That's basically what he's saying. Gore has been repeatedly applauded by pagan groups for his books and lectures. The Church of All Worlds congratulated the Clinton-Gore victory in 1996 by writing, "We are neo-pagans," implying an eclectic reconstruction of ancient nature religions and combining archetypes of many cultures with other mystic and spiritual disciplines, and our beliefs and values are no different from those you describe as your own. Your book, Earth in Balance, is heralded by our people as a manifesto for all we hold dear. Know that there are 500,000 neo-pagans out here who support you, and who voted for you, and who will rally to the aid of your policies for the salvation of the earth and the reunification of the great family. Another member of the board of directors of the Temple of Understanding is Thomas Berry. He believes that the world is being called to a new post-denominational, even a post-Christian belief system that sees the earth as a living being, with mankind as our consciousness. Okay, so what the heck does this mean? If you read my article about the Georgia Guidestones or the Denver International Airport, you're already aware of unusual monuments and art placed by powerful yet secretive groups calling for a new type of global spirituality. Keywords or expressions are often used to make this religious shift socially acceptable. Peace, balance with nature, or harmony with the infinite. How can you be against peace? You can't. Those buzzwords hide, however, the means that will be used to obtain those objectives. Peace will only happen when all there will be a single world government. Balance with nature will only happen when the world population will drastically decrease. And harmony with the infinite will only happen when the world will give up traditional religions to embrace neo-pagan humanism. That is their goal, guys. That is what they want to do. The St. John the Divine Cathedral acts as a nervous center for the spiritual side of the global shift. Through numerous forums and UN summits, the Temple of Understanding reunites leaders from all major religions to devise a universal message. This message will later be communicated to the masses through local religious networks in a slow yet steady manner. All religious faiths are leaning towards the same sets of values and will eventually converge into humanism. Interfaith meeting at the Temple of Understanding. An example of this, Madeleine Elengel's course given inside the cathedral. She is one of the founders of the temple. Her teachings include shamanism, out-of-body experiences, astral projection, tarot methods of fortune telling, earth worship, psychic abilities, yoga, tantric toga, sexual form of black magic. That's tantric toga, and astrology. Almost all of those practices have been severely condemned by Christianity for centuries, yet they are being accepted within the cathedral. And I'll make this straight. It's being accepted in the Christianity realm as well. All right. Those types of courses are being promoted in various religious temples across the world. But the main value that needs to be globally accepted is environmentalism, by creating a sense of urgency and fear regarding the degradation of nature. It is easy to pass laws that would be otherwise unpopular, to raise taxes for the sake of environment, and to shift the masses' focus from their respective religions' laws to the worship of the earth. People embracing this New Age spirituality are more likely to accept controversial projects like Planned Parenthood and eugenics. When nature is your religion, you see human life as a parasitic presence, and more likely to rationalize the death of masses of population. I do believe that is true. Okay, we're just about wrapping up here, guys. If you have take if you take one thing from this article, is that the St. John the Divine Cathedral is not Christian. In fact, it houses the very people that are working towards the eradication of religions, and they are doing a great job at it. Like I've said in the beginning, I do not condemn any faith, whether it's Muslim, Christian, or Wiccan. All faiths contain wisdom in their teachings. I don't necessarily agree with that. Um, Muslim, Wiccan, I mean, they're all pagan. We're not to be any part of that, you know. But like I said, this is his point of view. This is the best representation of this cathedral that I could find. So I'm just reading here. I'm not saying I believe everything he's saying in this little paragraph. All faiths contain wisdom in their teachings, but messing with people's faiths and tricking them into worshiping something else is pure, epic, biblical proportions. Cobra from G.I. Joe, Skeletor from He-Man Evil. Some say that Satan is the master of deceit. Well, people going to Mass into that cathedral are being deceived in ways they can't even imagine. Paul has warned the Corinthians, 2 Corinthians 11:13 through 15, for such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into apostles of Christ. And no wonder, for Satan himself transforms himself into an angel of light. Therefore it is no great thing if his ministers are transformed themselves into ministers of righteousness, whose end will be according to their works. Okay, guys, that's about it. Whew. I know it took a lot of reading, and I know it took a lot of explaining, but I hope this study um, has been a blessing to you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Um, Hopefully my blog talk thing will work tomorrow. But this is my big video of the week. and I will start on another one next week. Um, I'm going to go into Zionism, and I'm going to show, and I'm going to go into a deep study on that and see how that matches up with Scripture before I go into Zionism. Um, you know, I mean, this whole study of the St. John's Cathedral is a whole other biblical discussion in itself. Um, and but I just wanted to bring out what it actually is. Maybe in the future I'll put a video about it. But that's about it, guys. Um, thank you very, very much for watching. Until next time, truth be told, truth be known. Stay safe, guys. God bless. I love you all. Bye bye.